I was sitting in class when the substitute teacher stuck her hand out and said, "Spit out your chewing gum." I laughed nervously, but put it in her hand anyway. Suddenly, she collapsed to the floor. Her whole body started shaking like she was having a seizure. Multiple people called 911 at once, all yelling over each other. "Get the nurse, get help, somebody do something." I just sat there frozen, pinching myself to see if I was in a fever dream. The nurse burst in with an EpiPen. Her throat's closing up. She jabbed it into Mrs. Pierce's thigh. Kids started backing away from my desk, and Ella grabbed my arm hard. "What did you do?" "Nothing. I just spit out my gum." Someone behind me whispered, "Murderer." The paramedics arrived and immediately put on double gloves before approaching me. One paramedic kept asking if she'd been stung by something or if anyone saw her take medication. They checked her arms and neck for bug bites. I kept saying she just asked about my gum, but he looked at me like I was wasting his time with irrelevant information. They wheeled her out and her body was still twitching. "Nobody else touched anything this student touched. We need to isolate the source." One paramedic got in my face. "Have you been feeling sick? Any rashes?" "No, I feel fine. Why?" They took my temperature anyway and checked my throat. Everyone watched like I was some kind of alien. The principal rushed in and his eyes locked on me immediately. "Get all the other students out now." He nodded to the security guard. "Watch the door." "Sir, I don't understand what's happening. She just asked me to spit out. We need to contact your parents immediately." The vice principal leaned in and pointed at me, whispering, "Is this the one who vandalized?" They started photographing me from multiple angles. I tried to cover my face, but they told me to put my hands down. They took fingerprints from my desk with actual crime scene equipment. "Where did you get this gum?" the principal demanded. 7-Eleven? Is this even regulation gum? What does that even mean?" They ignored me and sent someone to check my other classes for more gum. The lunch ladies were brought in. "What did this student eat today?" "They sat alone at lunch," one said, like that was criminal. "Didn't wash hands before eating." "I used hand sanitizer." They pulled up my entire lunch purchase history on a laptop. "Has this student ever brought outside food?" My hands started shaking. "The superintendent's on his way," someone announced. "Pull up the student's disciplinary file. 3 tardies this semester," the secretary read. "Failed to turn in health forms. Those were excused." My mom, the school resource officer, cut me off. "Your parents better have good insurance. This is assault with a deadly weapon." "What weapon?" "It was Trident watermelon gum. We'll need a full toxicology report." He was actually writing this down like I was a criminal. Someone mentioned Miranda rights. I felt like I was going to throw up. Through the office window, I could see parents gathering in the parking lot. Someone was passing around a clipboard, a petition. I sat in that office for 2 hours while Mrs. Pierce's heart rate stabilized. Nobody would tell me anything. Every time I asked what was happening, they'd exchange looks and say, "Just wait." The principal kept asking what I'd eaten for lunch. It seemed like such a weird question when our substitute just almost died, but I told him. PB&J, apple, cookies. He wrote it all down and made a phone call to someone. 2 hours later, a woman burst through the door. It was Mrs. Pierce's daughter. The principal tried to explain what happened, but she cut him off. "You committed murder of a school employee." "What?" "I didn't. My mother has a severe peanut allergy." Her voice shook with rage. "It's in her file in red ink." My stomach dropped through the floor. She could have died. One particle can trigger anaphylaxis. The pieces clicked horribly into place. My peanut butter and jelly lunch. The gum after. I was suspended immediately. "Effective right now," the principal said, not meeting my eyes. Security escorted me out past the mob of parents. I figured that was it, but I was wrong. A week later, the college rejection letters started piling in. Every teacher who promised to write my recommendation letters mysteriously pulled out at the last minute. Then my mom's car tires were slashed. All 4. The final straw came when I got a call from my part-time job. Fired. Just like that. Everything traced back to the Pierce family. They'd ruined my life over peanut butter. Time to show them what real destruction tasted like. Full story on channel, link below.